And Dr. Saleh Mubarak, head of the Department of Civil and Architect Engineering, Qatar University in the Middle East. We're going right to you, Dr. Mubarak. Explain kind of briefly and specifically Ramadan, the principles of Ramadan. Of course, I just said the whole Quran was revealed. Give me some more virtues on Ramadan, if you would. For our listeners that don't understand Ramadan.
Okay. First of all, Ramadan is part of the Islamic calendar, which follows the lunar cycle. So every year comes a little bit earlier than the year before in 33 years.
And the lunar calendar will be the moon.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the listeners want to make it clear.
The average lunar year is 354 days, plus minus one. So it's in average 11 days shorter than the solar year. So every year Ramadan comes 11 days plus minus one, earlier than the year before. In 33 years, it completes one whole cycle, comes back to the same point that it was. Now, because of this rotation, so to speak, it gives everyone on Earth different time of the year. If it comes to us at the same time, then the people in the southern hemisphere, like Australia, Chile, and so on, will be on the disadvantage. But now they have winter and they have shorter days, and things rotate. But it's a month that has a lot of significance to the Muslims, the early Muslims, that it not only has this fasting, but it also many significant events happened in that month. It's a month that we wait, like Brother Hakim said, from year to year. It's being celebrated in different ways around the Muslim world. Many countries have dishes that only make it, and certain drinks and so on. The main purpose here is not to celebrate food, but actually to feel that cleanse yourself and have this spiritual discipline, but also have this feeling of how does it feel to be hungry.
Right. And to go to the mosque every day and pray, extra prayers, the meal called iftar, have feasting and eating time, because a lot of people now in the community hear this word iftar and they want to know about it. And so that's why I wanted to explain it, meaning at the end of the day, when the sun comes down, then the Muslims eat. And that particular meal is called iftar, right?
Right.
And so the next day, and a lot of people visit families doing iftars. Talk about that the evening time, the iftar concept.
Right. When it is not Ramadan, just regular part of the year, people eat dinner at different times. People eat dinner at 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So most likely the family would not be together at the same time. In Ramadan, it's fixed time. Everyone will be there, and most likely people, like yesterday evening, I was invited by a friend who had 6, 7 families with their wives and children and so on, and house was full. The night before, I was at the mosque and we had the interfaith, many Muslims and Christians, Unitarians and others, broke fast together. So this assembly, when we sit down together, all as a family or friends at a certain time, it's wonderful.
Right.
It brings some social issues, that we miss all the year.
Exactly. Let's get to that. Dr. Nagami, jump in right here. I want to talk to you. How can the concept of fasting help our society to deal with socially, economically, and spiritually? How can we use this concept of fasting to deal with those social issues that we may have, economic issues we may have in the community?
I think one of the most, perhaps this is a fact that one of the things, the social issues that we are combating is the obesity in the community, the increase in diabetes in the community, the increase of crime in the community. Now all these issues are related to the fact that we are eating more than what we should be eating, that we have no control over ourselves, and that we just abandon. And this is more and more common now. As you know, in the United States, it is well known that obesity will increase by about almost 10% within about 4 or 5 years' time. So that there will be more diseases and more people falling sick as a result of this especially the cardiovascular system gets very much affected by eating a lot. The cholesterol goes high, the sugar goes high, you are susceptible to diabetes and all that. So if you can control yourself, control the amount you eat, and this period of Ramadan or the period of fasting allows you to do that. It allows you to control yourself.
All right, Doc, since I got the doctor here, heart doctor, let's get to the heart of the matter. What effects does this have on the heart? And let's specifically talk about the heart, because you're a heart surgeon for many, many years.
Yes.
And let's talk about what this 12 hours of no food, not working the digestive system, heart not pumping, how good is that for the heart, Doc?
Well, actually, it's very, very good exercise for the heart, because whenever you fast, it has been proven. I mean, there's been some tests conducted which shows that your cholesterol goes down at the end of the month. Your blood sugar level goes down, and you are better in control. Now, when your blood sugar and your cholesterol are controlled in the human body, it leads to a healthier body. Your muscles work better, and since heart is a muscle, the heart can function better in the periods of fasting, or when you are really controlling yourself. Also, as has been pointed out, that besides just hunger and thirst, it's the spiritual control which is very important. And this allows you to control your emotions and to control yourself, which is again very positively affect the heart.
Right.
And I mean, people go to great extents of yoga and whatnot. And what does yoga do? It just slows down your heart. That's what it does.
All right, we got the doctor now. As a heart doctor said, we got to the heart of the matter, and I want to go to Hakeem the Dream.
I'm asking the panel a question. I can start with Pastor Kemp, and because I know very little about that fasting from the Christian point of view. So now I know God is the creator of all good things, and I know fasting is good. And like we said, all major faiths do have some form of fasting. So now, was there ever a time, could it be a time, as happening now, that this is taught from the podium, that, the congregation should, take a day of fasting and praying or fasting and asking God for special treat or thing like that?
Well, I'm sure that it's been taught from the pulpit for generations, because one of the persons in Scripture that had an encounter, Daniel, where he was taken from his native land and he was brought into captivity, he refused to eat the king's meat, and his fast was just a 10-day fast, and he just ate vegetables. So therefore, it's taught in the Christian community that fasting is beneficial for your weight control, for your self-control, and for your spiritual discipline. And it's encouraged. The general fast is a 3-day fast, but then a 10-day fast is a good fast, and then a 21-day fast, which allows your blood to filtrate. Your blood filtrates, and your cells in your body start reproducing themselves. So fasting is definitely taught from the Christian perspective.
Very good. Hit it on the head. Oh my God, that was fantastic. Put a little medical in there, some spiritual in there. That was fantastic. You want to go down to Dr. Bart?
Yeah, Dr. Navarre, because you've been fortunate enough to live in several countries during Ramadan, in the fast. Did you notice any difference in the custom of other countries? In other words, I seen on TV the other day, I think this is in Egypt, they have a large gathering of people that may not have eaten that day, and they feed the multitudes of people. If this is a practice throughout the Middle East, or this is something that just happened in Egypt? How is this observed?
Right, it's actually a practice in most Muslim countries, as far as I know. When I was in Qatar, they do it. Many wealthy people, not necessarily millionaires, but people who have enough food, means. They make food available to everyone, and it's not a special invitation. You just come in. I was watching also on the internet recently this iftar or fast breaking in Istanbul, where the mayor of Istanbul did it in a wonderful way, very well organized. Thousands of people come in, sit down, men, women, and children. sit down on round tables in the streets. You know, they just close the streets for a period of time and sit down, literally thousands of people, very well organized. You don't see people pushing and shoving and fighting for the food. There are people who volunteer their time to distribute the food. There are people who volunteer their money and so on and participate. So it's a wonderful thing where the people who have contribute to the people who don't have. The rich give the poor, and there is this social love. Like you know, we know that many communities have tension and have crime, and maybe sometimes when we get together, if I have a little more, I share with my brother, with my neighbor, with my fellow city resident, and so on. I think it's something that wonderful when we sit down together at dinner, share the table, share the food. It has a lot of effect socially.
Very good.
Okay, Dr. Nagamia, during the month of Ramadan, we are taught that we'll get 10 more blessings for one good act that we do. And this is a practice that that's being done. And in our little center, after we break our fast, what we do is that we go down to places like Florida Avenue, where you have people that's homeless people, and we take food down there and share it with them. So I'm saying is that the practice that we do, and you from India, so I'm saying is this similar to there? You just, in your own words, just tell us about what special effort is being done in your culture during the month of Ramadan.
Well, as you know that, I mean, sharing whatever you have with others is a very important part of Ramadan. And I mean, Dr. Mubarak already told you that in the month of Ramadan, anybody who has any kind of wealth or can afford it feeds the poor. I mean, you know, when iftar occurs, they will have a special iftar party in which they will invite their friends and the poor people. In fact, I mean, there are in my country, especially in India, there are what's called the food pantries, and they get opened up at night, every night during Ramadan. So all the poor people who cannot afford to otherwise get things for themselves, they will go to this pantry. It's called langar, and langar means a community gathering. And this community gathering, everybody will come and eat, and it's completely free. And I mean, they can eat whatever they want. So the poor get nutrition at that time. They are looking forward to this all the time, and so forth. Also that we, you know, even in this country, we have social iftars together. Our mayor is going to have an iftar very soon. So I mean, you know, the president holds an iftar too. So these are important events and for the Muslims.
Very good.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got a caller. Welcome to Honest Opinion, keeping it real, making it happen. What say you, caller?
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Two things I would like to mention. In fasting, I think it also helps to detox the mind, the body, the spirit, and also the land, because at one time, you know, you not grow any crops for several years. And also, you doing a type of fast to restrain from sex. And you're supposed to give yourself a commitment to Almighty God, to Allah. And I think maybe we need to discuss that. Also, I think we should fast or do away with any type of hatred, bitterness, and lying, in order for us to be more in touch with the Creator. And I thank you.
Yeah, I think he hit on the head. Well, thank you for the call. He's saying that we definitely know no sexual activities in the daylight hour with our legal mate anyway. And also he said about lying and anger, bickering, you know, all of that, you got to fast from that. There's a tradition from Muhammad the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that you arguing and bickering, you broke your fast. Talk about that, Dr. Mubarak.